Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, nerd and nerdettes. I have something special to share with you today as I can finally talk about my help with the project that I worked on. So if you followed along for a bit, you know I was hired last year by a production company to help train an actor. Well, I can now say that production company, it was by Amazon, and the actor that I was training was David for the new upcoming House of David series on Amazon. So throughout this video, I'm gonna be talking about the training I had with him, some behind the scenes footage of our training together, how we performed. I wanna start first with a little interview I did with him about our time together. I have subtitles on that because it's a little bit hard to hear, but without further ado, let's head to Greece.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the new best slinger right here, Michael. Oh my gosh, I can't tell you how fun it has been, dude. You have been crushing it, honestly.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
This is like the coolest thing in the world. Like, come on a set I've never been on. This guy's fantastic.
He's a great coach.
Oh no, man, it's so fun. So it's gonna be House of David, and like I've never seen the sling done right. Have you? Ever?
No.
Like no movie, no nothing,
No, never.
anything. And so we've just been drilling this thing, and he picked it up so fast and took it. He made it his own style, and like I can't wait to see how it looks because it's gonna be he's smooth, he's fast,
Thanks,
everything. It's gonna be so clean.
You taught me everything I know.
Thanks, man. I appreciate
No,
it.
but it's been such an amazing experience. I would come here and teach me to sling. I did it with tennis balls.
Yep, and some rock on the beach too.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
So.
It's been such a great time having you.
Yeah. No, man, I'm gonna miss it. But I gotta get back home to the kiddos too. So. Oh man, awesome stuff. Of course.
So when I first met with Michael, who's gonna be playing King David, I was instantly struck by just what a sweet guy he was. He was a really cool kid, very eager to learn, very happy to learn. And the first thing we started off when we got to the warehouse, that's where we spent all of our time together at that stunt warehouse, was just how to properly release so it goes in front of you. So the way you do that is just starting by the side here. You open up the thumb and the forefinger when it's in front of you, and you just release it just like that. So you want it to go in front of you just directionally. It doesn't matter where it goes, as long as you're getting that release down. So it's gonna be in here, gonna open up those fingers, and when you're ready to go, just let it go like that. So we worked on that initially just to start getting a feel for how you want the projectile to go, where you want it to go. Hopefully Michael was a quick study, and what I started doing after that is we started trying different sling forms. We had about 6 or 7 different ones that we rotated through to try to find the one that would look the best cinematic and was the best for him to feel. And as he practiced those, he got really, really good at them. We'd get those rotations, we'd pick the ones we want to do for that day, work on throwing it, and then just throw it. And now we just drill for hours, just that sling, all those different styles, finding which ones look best, and also filming it and sending it for feedback to see which one would look the best on camera. With all things Hollywood, you gotta have a flashy style because nothing ever looks cool, just standard. So we settled with a bit of a spin cross one where you come inside, you cross the body, spin around as you go, and then release it from there. Not super accurate, but it does look very cool for the film, and he got really good at doing that one as well. So that was really cool to see with us doing those together, kind of getting that spin rotation down as well. I'm glad we did tennis balls because that one's a little dicey sometimes. One thing I definitely tried to put some input in was the type of sling that he may have. So this here is a shepherd sling. The one on my head here is a Goliath type sling with a split pouch in the back there. And then we have this one here, which is the wool sling. Now, it's very hard to tell exactly what kind of sling was used. Some people say it was a staff sling, what have you. No one says what it was made out of, jute twine, anything like that. But I feel as a shepherd, someone who grows up on their own, a wool sling is not outside of the realm of possibility. It's a little bit with the costumes department to try to give a little input into there and to make the sling look a little bit more like it would have been a wool sling, or there would have been wool strands in it, because I think that would line up well with the story. I think most people aren't gonna notice that necessarily, but I just think it's a cool little Easter egg and something that's important to me. And you know, it's cool that they actually went through and crafted something that had a little more of a look like this for the sling than just a standard twine or something like that. So by the end of our time together, we were able to get kind of a drill. I kind of took it from boxing. We had throwing combos, 1, 2, 4, 6, something like that. So I'd call it out to him. I have a bag full of tennis balls. I'd throw him one and call it a number. 1, 4, 6, 2, 3, and everything like that. And he would pull those off very well. He was very smooth. Like I said, he got very, very good. And the coolest thing, a little claim to fame in all of this craziness, was that they actually showed the footage of us doing that to the executives. And they were like, this is really good. We're gonna change the script to have more sling stuff in it, because they were so impressed by how it looked and how powerful the sling looked and how good and so smooth it looked. And so a testament to how serious he took it and how hard he worked, because he was really able to load it up, release it, do the different ones on command, try all those different styles, even the flashier ones, the jumping ones. That was something he could do well on his own. I'm not much of a jumper at 40, but he was able to stay mobile, agile, and sell it, right? That's the biggest thing. He could sell it because he could actually do it, and he learned to do it properly. And that was an amazing experience, and he did very well. Next up, we have training Goliath, i.e. Martin Ford. Now, I didn't spend as much time with Goliath as I did David. I only had a few sessions with him. He was he was a genuine crack up, honestly. Just big, boisterous, larger than life. You can see as far as frame size, I'm about 5'11", how much he dwarfs me. So he's a big, imposing presence, but very friendly, very opening, warm, and very funny as well. There was one time I was talking to him and I said, hey, just bring it up just a hair. Just bring it up a hair. And he's like, oh, what? He's got like this super thick English accent. I'm like, yeah, hair, just a little bit, just like a hair. He's like, you couldn't have said a little bit, a small amount. You had to say hair with your beautiful hair over here. And so he just likes to like rib, right? He's a jokester. And so he was a lot of fun to be around. He was athletic. He's a big guy, but he's very strong, very athletic. He moves well. The biggest thing we had to work on with him was actually range of motion, because he put on a ton of muscle mass to try and be as large as imposing for the role. And when you're working with a javelin or a spear, you really need to be able to get it back in the pocket deep as you're coming in here. So it needs to be a big extension here. But that was a difficult range of motion for him. So we did a lot of stretching and everything. And once he got looser, it was a lot easier for him to get those throws down. So I have no doubt it's going to be well. I trained with some other guys as well. David's brother, he was a great guy. We got to work together on different types of movements he was going to be doing and everything. But the spear training was a lot of fun, just because it's fun to throw spears, you know. So as far as for the spear we chose for him, you have like a normal throwing short spear or javelin. They kind of went with basically like a full dory. So just a gigantic, almost full-size spear. For him to throw, and I mean, that's what we trained with, and he threw it very well. This is a heavy duty thing here, and so that's going to be just like a menace, like a howitzer of the time coming out of a giant cannon arm. So that's going to look, I think that'll look very, very cool. And then I want to show you some behind the scenes stuff, and it was kind of funny because I'm most versed in archery, English warbow, heavy draw weight bows up to 160 pound. I've trained for that a majority of my life, and they had an archer that was going to be coming out, and that's gonna be when I was leaving. And so they had a recurve, and I was just showing them a couple different ways in which you could string that and everything, but I'm glad they had a specialist, because they were going with an Asiatic draw, which was the thumb draw, and I'm not really well versed in that, so I wouldn't have been like a good qualified professional. So they asked me a few questions about archery and different things, and I put a little input in there, and if that makes it into the final cut, what I put in there, that would be really, really cool. I don't know if I can give it away because it's kind of a plot point. But it was cool to see, you know, all the props that let me tour the downstairs where they were building all the sets, and it was just a kid in a candy store. You know, everyone was fantastic. My experience there was so great. If you're looking for a cameo in there from me as well, it's not going to be there. They had a small part where I could have played a character. I can't say any lines because I'm not part of like the screen actors or anything, but they had a part for me. I would have had it stay for like a month and a half, 2 months, and that was just too long. I told them, you know, I got to get home to the family and the kids, so 2 weeks was my max. Do I regret it? Not at all. It was good to be home, but do I regret going in my time there? No, that was an opportunity of a lifetime. Michael is a great guy. We still connect here and there. I saw the trailer and I sent him a message like, man, you look great, good work. And he's like, thanks so much, I really appreciate it. So it was the opportunity of a lifetime, and I'm really excited to see how it turns out. See the sling in live action with someone who's trained hard with it, gotten good with it, and put in the time and the work to actually do it justice.